Hi guys, my name is Varsha Ahir and I welcome you all to the webinar. I hope I'm audible. Please let us know by typing in the chat box if you're facing any problem. Also, please bear in mind the question answer round will happen at the end of the session. But in case you have any questions midway, please feel free to type them in the question box. So I have with me Dr. Sanyogeitaa Chadha. She has an extensive industry experience of more than 2 decades. And she came on board with Pearl Academy as the head for School of Fashion, Styling and Textiles in 2013. An alumna of MS University, Baroda, Sanyogeitaa completed her PhD from Mumbai University in menswear. She has worked with brands like Madura Garments, where her contribution towards conceptualizing the entire design aspect in the launch of Alan Solé, Peter England, and Bafford is still admired in the company. And not just that, she has headed design for Industry Clothing, Bangalore, and also worked on scheming the design concepts and product development of Indigo Nation, Scullers, and Ironwood. She was the design head for Raymond Apparel Mumbai and director for design, merchandising, and product development department for Levi's. Let's hear what she has to talk about today in the webinar on Fashion and Beyond. Over to you, Sanyogeitaa.
Hi, guys. Hi, can you hear me? Okay, welcome to the webinar today. Just to give you a little background, Pearl Academy has been in this field of education for over 2 decades now. We began with one small campus in Okhla, and today Pearl is across 4 campuses. We have 2 in Delhi, one in Narayana, one in Noida, one in Jaipur, and one in Mumbai. Pearl Academy is based or comprised of 4 schools. So we have a School of Foundation, a School of Fashion, Styling and Textiles, a School for Communication, Media and Films, and the School of Design. What I'm going to be walking you through is the School of Fashion, Styling and Textiles. Within the school, we have 4 verticals. Each vertical is distinct from the other and is comprised of people who are really competent in their field of teaching. Our first and largest vertical is fashion design. Then we have fashion styling and image design. We have fashion media communication and textile design. As I walk you through the webinar, I will walk you through each of these verticals. What do we do in these verticals? What are your job opportunities? What are your career opportunities? And what kind of skill sets do we actually impart to you in your 4 years that you're with us? So the School of Fashion, Styling and Textiles is the largest in Pearl Academy. We offer a 4-year undergraduate program as well as 2-year postgraduate programs across all our verticals. And in each of these verticals, we also have a 1-year program. Our 4-year undergraduate program, your eligibility is class 12th. So you come to us in foundation for 1 year and then you move into your mainstream. For our postgraduate programs, you can come from any background. You could be chartered accountant, you could be a doctor, you could be an engineer, you could be a BA psychology student or a BA literature honors student, and you could actually join our postgraduate program in fashion design. For entry into any of the courses in Pearl, you don't have to be a science student. You could be an art student or a science student or a humanities student. It does not make a difference. So what is this fashion design all about? As the name suggests, in this course, the students learn to create as well as to make clothes. So how do you make clothes? Basically, how do you ideate? How do you think of design? How do you start conceptualizing how the clothes are going to look? This is one part of it. The other part of it, the technical part of it, where we teach you to cut, stitch, you learn to drape, you learn to embellish the clothes you've made. You learn to see what kind of fabrics will suit what kind of drawing that you've done. And you have to create lines of clothes, or you need to create ranges of clothes based on fashion forecast and what the client needs. The most important person, of course, is the client. So based upon that is how we teach you to create your clients of clothing. At the end of 4 years, you guys will be designers with an individual identity of your own. No 2 people who pass out have the same identity because each one is an individual in their own capacity. So what are the career options that you have if you do a course in fashion design? The first one is, of course, you can launch your own label. Many of our students actually head out and launch their own label. A lot of students also work in export houses as designers and merchandisers. They work with brands and design for all these national brands. You have Peter England, you have ITC Wills, you have Proline, you have Levi's, Allen Solly, Louis Philippe, Peter England, Biba. Name the brand, and we have designers working there. They work as designers along with other designers. So we have students working with, say, Rohit Bal, Vijay Valaya, Rajesh Pratap Singh. They work with designers. They work in buying offices. Offices like Gap, if you've heard of Gap or you've heard of Lee and Fung, we have students working there. E-commerce. So Portal, Zag, Myntra with Jabong, LimeRoad employ designers, so our designers get jobs there. They're now actively designing for movies. Television serials employ many designers to create looks for their and design clothes for their serials, and they also design other product categories apart from just apparel. So while they learn fashion design and it's all about apparel, what the course does is it opens your mind to other designing as well. So they also do shoe design, they also do bags, and they also do accessories. Our next large course is fashion styling and image design. Now, as the name suggests, they don't make the clothes. So while we teach them all about fashion, we walk them through what are trends, what are forecasts, what are people going to wear, what are the various terminologies for clothes. They learn to style the clothes. So they learn to put looks together. Historically, a designer would also be a stylist. But today, with so much of specialization, stylists work along with designers. So every designer would have a stylist. So just to explain it to you, a designer would probably make a top and a bottom, but when the look has to come together, a stylist steps in and says, okay, this kurta looks good with this bottom, and maybe a stole would add value to it, and these are kind of accessories that you should actually wear with this particular look. So the styling students learn all about, they learn styling, elements of styling, they learn how to style for magazines, they learn how to style for movies, they learn how to style for print campaigns, they learn how to work to a theme and how to work to a story. Stylists usually work with designers and they enhance the look that the designers have created. So it's a big difference in terms of what they actually do. They're as important as designers, but they put these looks together. They also work with accessories. So they put together books, bags, hairstyle, what kind of look, is it makeup to be nude or is it makeup to be loud? So they put together the entire look. So what you see in the magazines is actually the work of designers as well as stylists. So having said that, how is it different from fashion design? This is a question I think most students want to know. So stylists learn about fashion, but they do not make clothes. They learn about the nuances of makeup, the nuances of hair, but they are not actually makeup artists and they do not become hairstylists. Stylists usually work with designers or they work with brands. Okay, so stylists understand fashion, they put these looks together and they work to a brief. A stylist has to be told what kind of a look is he putting the style or which kind of a look is he styling. Based on the brief, the stylist works and gets that look to going together. So what are the career options? We've had many students at Pastor of Pearl now as fashion stylists. Many of them work as freelance stylists because it's a very lucrative profession today. They work at magazines, television, theater, brands. Many brands want stylists now because designers putting looks together is not enough. E-commerce. So we have students working with Amazon where they came and picked our students because they really wanted people to put the looks together. So when you're looking at an e-commerce portal, you're able to identify how that garment will look on you when you wear it or what you should wear a particular garment with. It could be a pair of jeans. How do you look formal when you have to go to work? How can the same pair of jeans be accessorized to make it casual for the evening? And how can you kind of dress it up with a beautiful jacket for a night function? So this is what the styling students actually do. And most stylists actually work with designers. Every designer has a stylist who works with him or with her to get their look going together. Our third large course is fashion media communication. For a very long time, designers would design the clothes, they would style the clothes, they would also write about their own clothes. But now as people are becoming more specialized in what they do, fashion media communication, as the name suggests, has become a very big career. So these students are actually journalists or they're people who write well, but they're writing all about fashion. So they understand fashion, they learn about fashion, they don't make clothes, but they can talk about fashion. They develop a great fashion vocabulary. They realize what fashion is all about, how do trends change, what are the terminologies that people are using now. So when the slim fit jeans became a flare, they would say, okay, they understood what a fit and flare is. When palazzos came into fashion, they realized that the terminology called palazzos. So they learn all about what fashion is all about, and they start writing about it. Now their vocabulary is fashion centric, but because they're exposed to different media, they're also great at blogging, they're also great at putting up posts, they have their own Instagram pages. So they're pretty tech savvy in terms of using media to their advantage, and they learn to write really well. So they blog, they're trained to use all the new age media that is possible for them to learn, and they have an edge over other journalists because their forte is fashion. So we have students who cover the fashion weeks, we have students who cover designer weeks, because when they go to a fashion show, they're able to critique a designer, they're able to comment on the color, on the silhouette, on the way the garment looks together, whether the stylist did a good job, what is trending with a particular designer, what is a designer's core USP or competency that he's trying to show at a fashion week. So this is how fashion media communication students actually work with designers. So the career options are many. They work in magazines, they cover fashion weeks, they're into blogging. A lot of brands are now calling them to work with them because they're an e-portal portal especially. When you put up a look, you want someone to write about that look. So there's no point saying the white kurta and a blue jeans. You need to talk about that white. What color of white is it? What tone is it? What kind of cut are you offering? Are the jeans slim? Are they flared? Are they fit and flared? Is it a deep blue or a light blue? You need someone to put together this whole vocabulary for those apparel. So our students actually work with e-commerce portals. They work with many designers. Designers are increasingly employing fashion media communication students to actually blog about them, to write about them, to give write-ups about their collections, to kind of give PR material on their collection that they're actually churning out year after season after season. So our students are actually employed all over here. Apart from these programs, our one-year programs which are really popular, we have a one-year program in fashion media makeup. As the name suggests, we don't teach them to be makeup artists in just salons, but they actually makeup artists who get brilliant jobs. So lots of them are in movies, lots of them are privately running their own businesses, lots of them are consultants. They learn everything about makeup and about hair. So they learn to work like international stylists or international makeup artists. Our one-year course in fashion women's wear is all about teaching students from any age group, whether they're 12th standard pass, whether you're a housewife, whether you've done your BCom, BA, whatever, to come in and learn how do you run your boutique. This course actually originated because there were a lot of women who wanted to run their own businesses. They didn't want to do a 4-year course in fashion design, but they wanted to understand what is fashion all about, nuances of stitching, how do you stitch, how do you create garments, how do you create looks, and hence this course has been born and has been really successful with us. And we have a one-year program in professional photography, which is really interesting because these students also get international exposure and they learn to become top-notch photographers. Just to add here, all our students, our undergraduate students and our postgraduate students get a chance to go overseas to do some credit exchange. So they go overseas and do a part of their coursework there. And I think we have about 33 colleges overseas where our students actually currently go, including London College of Fashion, University of Arts London, Chelsea, FIDM in Los Angeles, and NTU, and many other universities in the UK and the USA. What this does is, and what we realize how it helps our undergraduate students is, they learn a new way of working, they work with international students, so when they come back, they're more grounded, they're able to actually understand fashion from a different perspective. Our postgraduate students have the opportunity to go to Domus in Milan and do 1 month out there. So they actually go to Domus, spend 1 month studying with the students there in Italy. We've had our second batch go out this year, and I think their experiences are unbeatable. I mean, they really benefit so much from this overseas exchange. In addition to overseas exchange, all our students help to get internships in companies because we really believe that whether you're an undergraduate student, especially you're really young, you need to go out and work in the industry. So there are many, many companies all over India where our students go. And if you go on our website, I think you'll be able to see all the companies. And of course, we help with job placement. I think these are the main things that I would like to cover in this presentation. And just before I end the presentation, we are launching a new program called Mass Communication or Media and Journalism, depending upon what we finalize the name, in the coming academic year of 2016. It's actually Mass Com. And we think that a mass communication program which is based on a design ground would be something really interesting. So we hope that you've enjoyed what I've spoken to you about. If you have any questions, you're more than welcome to start asking me now.
Great. Thank you so much, Sanyogeitaa. That was indeed very insightful, especially the difference that you've shown between fashion design and fashion styling and image design, because I believe that creates a bit of confusion between the audience, the students, I mean. So there are a few questions that we have from the audience.
Right.
So there's this Megha Suruja wants to know fashion media communication, which is the course with Pearl Academy. How much of fashion do they really learn? I mean, is it something like FSI, fashion styling and image design, or is it completely different?
So fashion courses have a common foundation. So you obviously go through a basic learning on foundation, and they're taught fashion in level 1. So they learn the basics of, say, illustration. They're taught the basics of what is fashion, what are trends. They're taught all the basics of fashion, and then they go into communication. So then they have nothing to do with apparel.
Okay.
So they're taught the basics, so they understand fashion. They speak the same language as fashion designers speak, except they don't make clothes, but they understand clothes.
Okay.
And they learn more how to write and how to communicate about fashion.
So the focus is given more on
to communication and into new age media. How do you use new age media to your advantage?
Okay, great. So another student is asking about the opportunities available after fashion styling and image design. Is it same as fashion design, or would there be a lot of difference? Can somebody switch?
Okay, so earlier fashion stylists were basically designers who became stylists because there was nobody teaching you fashion styling. However, the industry has evolved to an extent. Now the industry is looking for people who have learned fashion styling, and there's a lot of learning that we teach them, which is not taught to a design student. So today fashion stylists get jobs as good as designers. They're as much in demand as designers, and in some areas like e-commerce probably more in demand than my designers, because they're specialists, so they understand what goes into styling for, say, a magazine layout. It's very different to what you will do for a movie, very different to what you'll do for TV commercial.
Okay, great. Another student called Shruchi Kumari wants to know what kind of extra courses are needed to pass through the entrance exam.
You don't need to pass through any extra courses. Basically, our entrance exam is made up of 2 parts. One is general aptitude test, which is anything any student can pass through, and one is a design aptitude test. Basically, we just want to see in the test that how creative are you, or how inclined are you to creativity. So you don't have to be a great artist. You don't have to know anything about fashion. It will be great if you read about fashion or coming of fashion design, but you don't have to know too much. You don't expect you to know everything, because when you join our course is when we would teach you. So, yeah.
Great. Hope that answers you, Shruchi. In case not, please, you can always write a question again and we'll answer that. Sangeeta Kumari, another student, is asking, after joining the 1-year fashion women's wear course, can we design our own business, and can we learn to make portfolio in that course?
Yes. So this fashion women's wear course is a 1-year course, but it's tightly packed. So it's like a full-time 1-year course, and at the end of this, you can definitely start your own business. And you will make a portfolio. I cannot say the portfolio will be like what a student who's done 4 years would be, but your portfolio is really brilliant. So our 1 year, this was a 1-year course. Everything is taught to you in that 1 year related to fashion women's wear. We don't touch men's wear in this. It's just fashion women's wear. And within that, you can start your own business, and I think it's very, very good.
Okay, great. Hope that answers you, Sangeeta. Next up is Sayali, and she asks, after completing the 1-year program, what kind of jobs can we really expect?
So our students who've done fashion women's wear, we've had, I think, three cohorts who passed out now. Most have begun their own business. This is actually started for people to start their own business or enterprise. There are also some who joined export houses. And because their knowledge of garmenting, or technically they're very, very sound, and they understand design and they understand craft, I think they get absorbed when they go for jobs to export houses and to designers.
Okay, great. Sayali, we hope that answers you. Next is Deepak, and he's asking about the fee of the course, and also what about the admission process and how to really apply for school.
Okay, so Deepak, the fees, I think you have to
Check on
the website. I don't know the exact fees, but in terms of how you can apply, our application forms will be available on the website. I think by December or by January, you can apply online, and then once you fill in your application form, you'll be called for the test center. You'll be asked which test center is closest to you, which course you're applying for. We also have counseling for all the courses, so you can find that in, and then we will direct you to the exam center and the interview.
Sure. And Shruti again has a question. She's like, what kind of portfolio are expected by the jury of Pearl Academy?
Look, your portfolio is something that you've done. You don't have to specially make a portfolio for the jury. But if you're somebody who likes to sketch, if you're somebody who likes to take photographs, you like to just keep drawing around, you're drawing software mom, please bring that around. We're not looking at portfolios made by somebody else. We're not looking at doctorate portfolios. We want to see what is your artistic tendency and what is your interest. You may be really bad at drawing, don't bother. Just bring whatever you've done. Drawn a picture of your dog, you drawn a picture of your cat, your little brother, or some flowers in your house, and you just bring it. It's fine. We just need to see what you're doing. It's okay.
So I think it's more about how creative.
Yeah, we just want to know how excited you are about doing the course.
Okay. So next is Priyanka Sharma, and she's asking, for becoming a fashion designer, is it necessary to be very good at drawing? I'm sorry, we just answered that.
No, Priyanka, you don't need to be really good at drawing. You will learn illustration when you join us. You will learn how to use technology to draw what you want. You don't have to be a great artist, and we would help you with that.
Okay. And one last question here is about the scholarship program. What kind of scholarship programs are available at Pearl Academy? So I think there are a lot of, if I can answer that, thank you. There are a lot of scholarships available, Gargi. You can check that out, information on our website. They are merit-basis scholarships, and we also run our annual scholarship programs, which should be out soon. And there are some scholarships given out to students. So why don't you visit the website, and also you can call the counselors as well, and they would help you with that. Right. Any other questions? When are the entrance exams? So that is one question. So the admission would start by
I think
January.
We have three rounds of admission exams. There's one in January, there's one in April, and there's one in June. Because there are different times when your exams actually get over. So I think it would be interesting. It would be great if you apply for the January exam. That's for the undergraduate program. The June is usually for the postgraduate students.
Yes. So. There's another question by Purva, and she's asking, if we want to join Pearl in a particular city, what do we have to do? Can we choose our own cities?
Purva, you can definitely apply in your application form of the city that you would like to be, you like admission in. However, we try and accommodate most students. However, if seats in a particular city fill up, then we would have to offer you another city. You're always given the option of first choice and second choice, and I think we try to accommodate most students where they would like to go.
Great. I hope we have answered all the questions here. I do not really see any other question flowing in. However, there's one question that has just come up by Shruti. Are there any seat reservations? Well, Shruti, to answer that, no, there are none. It all depends on your entrance exam, the interview that you give, how inclined and excited you are to pursue that course and your career after that.
So I just want to say, when you come for the interview, we're looking to see your passion, your interest. And if you've done something, you made a dress for your doll, carry it for the interview. If you stitched something by hand, you made some pot, you you made a clay model or whatever, we want to see your work. So you don't have to get stressed about what you bring in for the interview. You just have to come for the exam, appear for the exam. For the interview, we want to be looking at how excited you are, because we are really excited. So we'd like to see your levels of enthusiasm and excitement, and what have you done? It could be anything.
Great. Anything that's creative. And
anything that you have done. Yeah.
Great. So Purva again is asking, how do we know which course is better for us, fashion styling or fashion designing?
So Purva, just to answer you, if you're the kind of person who likes to stitch, okay, so fashion design has lots of stitching. It's exciting because you see something you stitch, people are going to wear what you made. That's one kind of pride. However, you love fashion, you don't want to stitch because you don't think stitching is great for you, then fashion styling will be what you should actually do. So it depends upon what you like. There are students who love coming to fashion design because they make lines, they create lines, or they do fashion shows, and they feel that's great. But there are also a lot of students who don't want to take the trouble of stitching, but they would like to style those clothes and put them together. So then maybe fashion styling. Depends upon what you would like to do.
Great. I think that answers you, Purva. How about the placements, Sanyogeitaa? If you could just tell us a little about that.
So we've had a placement percentage of almost 97%. And we ask students where would they like to go. So our placement process is really long. We have an entire cell devoted to only handling placements. So they go, they identify companies where students would like to work. They do an entire session with the students to make their CVs, to make their portfolios. We help them put portfolios together. We organize placement weeks where companies come and meet our students. So our students are able to talk to these companies on what they would like to do. And we've hit a very good percentage of placements. Till date, we're at 97% placement.
Yeah. Great. Are there any more questions, guys?
Okay, Gargi, fashion design as a okay. So how is fashion designing and fashion styling different? Okay. Gargi, just to repeat it, fashion designing is all about making clothes. Fashion styling is about putting looks together. So a fashion designer creates clothes, he makes the clothes, we teach them how to stitch clothes and also to envision how lines are made. Fashion stylists are taught how to put looks together. So somebody will design the clothes, you're just given the clothes and you put a look together. So you match the top and the bottom and a stole and a bag and shoes and everything. That's a difference between fashion styling and fashion design.
Okay. And Sangeeta wants to know if she's not good at drawing, would that really affect her entrance exam?
No, Sangeeta, you're not good at drawing, it won't affect your entrance exam. Because in the entrance exam, it's more about your aptitude to design. How do you think about design? You know, are you able to visualize?
Okay.
Okay, so Mohammed Arif, you want to know when the PG courses start. The PG and the UG courses start around the same time. Our college opens end of July, beginning of August. The forms will be available at the same time, and you could appear for the entrance exam.
Yes. And just to add on to that, the more information on admissions would be out soon on our website. So this week or next week, you can go on the website. If you have any queries, you can fill up a form there and we'll get back to you with the answers.
Okay, Sayali, you want to know if you like fashion illustration but not stitching. If you don't like stitching, I would suggest you do fashion styling. Illustration, you're taught more illustration when you're a fashion designer because that's your job. But fashion styling students also learn illustration. They learn the basics of illustration. So you can enjoy your illustration there. But probably if you don't like to stitch, I would recommend fashion styling.
Okay. Any more questions, guys? Right. So Purva has a question. What about the placements in fashion styling and what packages are offered? And about placement in fashion styling and what packages are offered there?
Okay, Purva, our placements in fashion styling have also been almost 98%, 97, 98%. But the number of students opting for placements in fashion styling is lesser because they usually get a lot of freelance assignments. So while they're students with us, we send them to the industry to do projects. So they go and do Femina, they go and style for Femina, they've been styling for GQ, they go and style for Benetton. So while they're studying with us, we expose them to the industry as they come to level 2 and into level 2 and level 3. So lots of them don't want to be placed because they earn lots more money just doing freestyle jobs. However, those who get placed in industry are paid on par as designers. So the packages are not hugely different. They get paid what any design student would get paid from anywhere in India.
Right. And what are the kind of companies, Sanyogeitaa, if you could mention, that come for placement here at campus?
So we have a huge lot of companies. So we have Gap, Benetton, ITC Wills, Madhura Garments, Arvind Brands, Reliance Trends. We have Pantaloons who are coming this year. Then what else? We have all the designers who come in for placements. So we have Rajesh Pratap Singh who comes. We have Nikhil and Pankaj and Nidhi. So we have a whole lot of designers, export houses, and companies who come to us for placements.
Right. One last question that comes from Gargi. For undergraduates, the entrance exam will be held only in January, or will there be a second exam as well? There will be. As we said, there are 3 cycles. January is the first one, and the next one happens following few months like April, and the last one happens in July. All of this information is also available on the website, Gargi. You can feel free to check that out on the website. Any other question, people? So I think that would be all, Sanyogeitaa.
Thank you guys for coming for the webinar.
Thank you so much. It was really nice hearing you, Sanyogeitaa. And just one last question that comes from Shruchi, which is, which field in fashion gives you a larger scope of opportunities?
Shruchi, as of today, all the three fields give equal opportunity. It depends upon what you're inclined to do. If you're better at writing, then fashion media communication works really well for you, and there are huge job opportunities there. If you're better at stitching, or you like stitching and creating clothes, then fashion design, otherwise fashion styling. Great. Thank you so much, guys, for all the questions, and we hope that we've answered anything that you might have had in mind. Thank you so much.
Great. Thank you so much once again. Also, if I may point out, in case there are any more queries that you have, please feel free to call our toll-free number, which is 1-800-103-3005. I will repeat that for you. The toll-free number is 1-800-103-3005. You can call us up and we have expert counselors sitting there to help you out with any kind of queries that you may have. You can also visit our website, which is pearlacademy.com. And if in case there are any more questions, there is a query form available on the contact us section on the website. You can fill that up and we'll try and answer that as soon as we can. And we have 4 campuses. Narayana, which is in Delhi, Noida, Jaipur, and one in Mumbai. If you would like to visit the campus to meet the counselors, you can do that as well. And thank you so much.
Thank you so much.
Thanks. Bye.